Hello, divine souls. Welcome to Soft Strength with Stephanie Juste. This is a space for women and men who are rebuilding themselves spiritually, emotionally, nervous system wise. If you have survived things you don't always talk about, if you are learning how to soften without collapsing, you are in the right place. Before we begin, take one slow breath with me. Inhale slowly. Hold. Exhale gently. This podcast is not just about listening, it is about returning to yourself. Today, I am going to read you guys my story titled The Child They Tried to Erase from my book titled Between Worlds. My book titled Between Worlds is a Haitian daughter learning to love herself. It's a story of survival, awakening, and choosing clarity over chaos. Throughout my story of childhood, migration, family wounds, loss, and self-return. I, Stephanie Juste, I spoke those words not to seek sympathy, but to reclaim my voice. My story that I am sharing with you guys is a bridge between who I was taught to be and who I allow myself to become. Honest, unfiltered, and emotionally precise. It invites every listener who has ever carried pain in silence to finally step into their freedom. The child they try to erase. I was not born out of romance. I was born out of survival, out of hunger, out of two people searching for something they did not know they were missing. After my parents met, my father would call my mother not for love, but for sex. And from that call, from that moment, I was conceived. When my mother found out she was pregnant of me, the world turned against her again. Her own sister, my father's sisters, told her to abort me. But my mother refused. My mother said to me, Stephanie, what I was looking for, I found it. A man with a house, a last name, a life in the city, a man who had inherited inherited his parents' house, a quadruplex house that she was able to rent, space to breathe, space to dream, and space to become. My dad was a light-skinned, tall, handsome man, the kind of man people notice. And my mom told herself, I will not let that go. When my mother refused to end the pregnancy, she ran back to the countryside, to the same house where she once learned pen, thinking maybe she will find safety. But instead, she found rejection again. Her mother and sisters call her name. They say that I was a bastard. They say my father will never claim me. They told my mother to abort me again. She said she will go hungry for days, eating ice and drinking water just to silence her stomach. Some night she found bit of food, most night nothing. But she carried me anyway. When I was born, my father came to see me at the hospital. He looked at my tiny hands, my light skin, and said to her sister who came with her, to her sister who came with him, yep, she is mine. My mother said that the nurse gave me the name Stephanie, and my father added Carmel, my middle name. Carmel was my grandfather name. My father allowed me and my mother to live with him in that one small bedroom in 1994. And that was the beginning of our family, a family that will learn love throughout absence. My father did not like to stay home for long. Most of the time, he will stay out enjoying his time with his friend. My mother, she worked all day, often overtime at a restaurant, trying to save money for something better. My dad, he never worked. He hasn't even worked all his life. I don't even know how did he survive. But my mother, I know that she worked all day at a restaurant that she didn't even like, trying to save money for something better. She told me she did not want to be a server. She told me she did not want to serve others forever. She wanted to open her own beauty supply, to travel to the Dominican Republic, to Miami, and bring her product to sell. While she chased survival, I was often alone. Hmm. When my mom traveled to go to DR and leave me with my father or with my grandma, my dad would be out during the day or go to pick me up at school and go out, and I will be alone. And then he will come a little bit late. My grandma will do the same thing, go to her go to her grandkids that live, I don't know, somewhere else, and then she will come later and then take care of me. So most of the times I will be alone. I remember one night, I must have been 5 years old. I woke up crying in an empty house. Nobody was there, not my mom, not my dad. 3 o'clock in the morning. The silence scared me. I opened the door. I walked out of the house, still crying, wandering toward the connect apartment next doors. A tenant saw me, picked me up, and kept me safe until my mother came home. When she found me, she cried and held me tight, but by then the fear had already built a home inside of me. My father was nowhere to find. My father was nowhere to be found. He was out there enjoying his youth, his music, woman, his freedom. So time passed. My mother eventually saved enough money to leave the restaurant. My father was there with us, but not present. He was the kind of man who thought physical, emotional abuse was love and discipline. Every time I couldn't remember my lesson, words, addition, table, he will beat me up. He will hit my head. He will hurt me, mostly physically. You will think my mother was different. My mother was the same person as my father. My mother, she always worked. She was always working. She was always working. She was always working. Rarely home also. But most of the time, my mother was the kind of woman who thought physical, emotional abuse was love and discipline too. When I don't when I don't pass, when I don't have no good grade in school, she will beat me up. When I try to stand up for myself, she will beat me up. Not only beat me up physically, but also she will tell me hurtful words. That is how it began. Between hunger and survival, between two people who didn't know how to love, between two worlds, one that made me and one that tried to erase me. When I tell this part of my story, I don't feel anger the way people might expect it. I feel awareness. I comprehend that I was not born into a soft place. I was born into survival, and for a long time, I carried that without realizing it. The loneliness, the fear, the feeling of being left even when people were around me. That night, when I walked outside as a child, that was not just a moment, it became a feeling that stayed in my body. The feeling that I had to find safety on my own. The feeling that I had to figure things out by myself. But telling this now as an adult, I see some kind of, I see, hmm, I see something else too. I see that even in everything that I tried to reject me, I was still here. My mother carried me when she had nothing. When people told her to let me go, she didn't. And even though love in my childhood was not consistent, my existence was not an accident. I was choosing to stay, and I think that matters. This chapter is not just about what I did not receive. This chapter is not just about the abusing relationship that me and my mother and father have. It's also about what I survived without, and maybe that's where my strength began. Before we close today, let's take a moment to breathe together. Place one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach. Inhale through your nose for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through your nose for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let your shoulder drop. Let your jaw unclench. Divine Soul, your body deserves safety. Before we close, I want to leave you with a few affirmations. You can repeat them in your mind or just listening. I am allowed to exist exactly as I am. I am allowed to exist exactly as I am. I am allowed to exist exactly as I am. I give myself the safety I once needed. I gave myself the safety I once needed. I gave myself the safety I once needed. My existence is not a mistake. My existence is not a mistake. My existence is not a mistake. I thank you for spending this moment with me, Divine Souls. If this touched you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with a woman or a man who needs softness. This is Soft Strength with Stephanie Juste, and we are just beginning.